Welcome to your weekly UAS news update. This is week 28, and this week I want to talk about three different topics. The first one is the partnership between Parrot and Kittyhawk. The next one is the FAA reached almost 1.5 million drones registered since they required registration. And then the last one, I want to talk about a topic that's going to take a little bit of time, and then I call it a guide to discussing drone strike. So let's get to it. First piece of news this week is the French manufacturer Parrot that's partnered with Kittyhawk, which is a US lens provider. And the partnership is basically to get into the ANAFI SDK. Now, if you don't know what an SDK is, it's a software that is going to allow other companies to basically get into the software and create their own software for the ANAFI platform. Now, the Parrot ANAFI is the equivalent, I always hate to go back to DJI, but the equivalent of the portable Mavic series of DJI. And they actually came up with a lot of different versions of the ANAFI, and one of them is a thermal version, which is oriented towards the professional side of UAS. So I think this is actually a great partnership. I love SDKs because it allows companies to basically get into the software and create the software that's going to work for them for what they're doing. So I think this is a great effort from Kittyhawk. I personally like Kittyhawk. This is the platform I use to get my approval on mobile devices. I also use another one called Skyward to do my approval when I go on a computer. But Kittyhawk has been doing some great things recently, so I'm glad to see them in the news again. And great also to see somebody else other than DJI doing something out there. So hopefully this will boost their sales in the US, and we'll see more non-DJI drones being bought in the US and being used in the commercial world, especially for thermal, like I said, for this platform. The next thing I want to talk about is the FAA released a bunch of numbers. The bigger one is 1.5 million drones registered in the US. Now, if you look at the numbers, the division between a commercial and recreational, we have about 27% of drones registered for commercial purposes. That's about 416,000 drones. And then a little over almost 1.1 million drones registered for recreational purposes. So I think this is great news. I mean, the number of drones in the US is probably a lot more than that. We know people do not register their drone. So my guess would be closer to about 2 million drones out there. I think the 2 million number has been floated before by manufacturers if you can put all together all the drones that have been sold. So this is cool. I mean, we know this industry is growing extremely quickly, and it's good to see those numbers out there. There's another number in there as well, which is 158,000 remote pilots, commercial drone operators, if you want to call them that. That have been, those licenses, those certificates have been issued since 2016. Pretty excited about this because a portion of these came from my course, the Part 107 Made Easy course that I have. Several thousands have taken this. We're getting close to, we just got over 6,000 actually with our course. So if you want to see the numbers, I'll put a link right here with the FAA. So that's kind of a good news. Now, kind of a transition to the next topic. I want to talk about something that was reported this morning. A news helicopter in LA reported having been hit by a drone while they were flying over downtown LA. And when they landed, they looked at the drone, and there was they looked at the helicopter, not the drone, and there was some substantial damage on the tail suction, the horizontal tail suction of the chopper. And so this came out that a drone had hit a helicopter, blah, blah, blah. If you start reading the comments, you see a lot of things that I want to discuss today. And I think a lot of these comments come from the fact that time and time again, we've seen drones being blamed for encounters with manned aircraft, even when later on it was proved that there was no drone involved. And then drones get the bad reputation that sometimes they have. And so I want to talk about some different types of reaction that I see online. And I've kind of categorized them into 4 different categories. And the first one is the head in the sand reaction from people, mostly from the drone community that says, crying wolf, there's been, reports in the past, And then here's a report again, drones are involved, there's no proof that it was a drone, and I'm sure nothing happened, and let's move along, and drones are not the problem. So there's a lot of issues with this kind of approach. The first one is we know that there's a lot of people out there that are flying illegally, that are flying at high altitude, and more than likely can hit this helicopter. Now, it was reported the helicopter was flying at 1,100 feet when that happened, and we know that people go, and you can just go online and on social media, and you'll see tons of pictures of LA taken from exactly this type of altitude. So I think the head in the sand doesn't really solve any kind of issues. We know that this can happen. And the other type of reaction that I've seen is the ban all the drone reaction from people. Now, this usually comes outside of the community, whether it's from the manned pilot community, unfortunately, or if it's from just the average person out there that doesn't know anything about drones. And they want to add more rules. I even saw somebody that said all drones must be registered. This should be a rule, and they shouldn't be able to fly in those areas without approval, without realizing obviously that this is the regulation as it is. So more rule is not going to prevent people that want to do bad things or want to go around the rule. We already have all the rules that we need in order to make everything safe. We just need to, one, follow the rules, and then two, we need to enforce the rules. So that approach, I think, just doesn't work either. We can't ban all the drones. That's not the solution. The next reaction that I see a lot is from the drone community usually, and it's people saying, well, drones can't really hurt airplane or helicopters anyway, or if they did, then we would have people dying already, and we would have helicopters and airplane crashing on the ground, because after all, there is 1.5 million drones out there, right? That is not something that we know for a fact. There's been testing that we know can drone hit in the right location, or in the wrong location, I should say, can create substantial damage and could take down other things. Remember, the drone has batteries. Batteries catch on fire if they get into the right conditions. So not the right approach either. Drones can be dangerous. We have to be careful with this. And I hear people say, well, we should ban all birds as well. Well, birds are smarter than drone operators. Birds will usually get out of the way of aircraft, and when they get hit, they usually decompose, and then you get a lot of blood. I've hit my fair share of birds as I flew over the last 15 years, and those things happen. You get a long streak of blood. Sometimes you don't even get blood, and those things also happen. You just get a big dip on the side of the wing, and then you move along. Now, the next reaction that I see, the fourth one, and then kind of the last one, is helicopters are flying too low anyway, and then they should be paying attention to drones, which unfortunately is not the right reaction either, because helicopters can fly at any altitude. There is no altitude limitation. And remember also that in the regulation, we as remote pilots or as hobbyists have to give way to manned aircraft. So we cannot interfere with manned aircraft. And if we think that we are in a situation where a helicopter could pop up in the middle of nowhere, then either we don't fly or we should be flying with visual observers. That's why visual observers were put in place. Now, with that being said, the reason I'm talking about this is because all these reactions here, I think, are reactions that we shouldn't have. What we should be really doing at this stage is we should let the FAA and the NTSB do the investigation, come back and basically tell us, yes, this was a drone. This was maybe the person that was involved with it. And at this stage, there is no proof whatsoever that this was a drone. Now, not gonna lie, looking at the damage, this was not a bird. It's very unlikely. Looking at the shape, there was a hole on the side of the wing, so something more than a bird or an animal hit this helicopter. So it is entirely possible that it is a drone. But at this stage, there is no proof. There is no parts of the drone either recovered on the ground or even found inside of the wing or on the side of the wing. So I think we just need to not speculate. That's basically what it comes down to. We need to let the FAA do their research, let the NTSB, which is going to be in charge of doing this, and then let them come up with a conclusion. And then after this, we can discuss how things need to be changed. So let's not jump to conclusion. I wanted to end it right here. Again, let me know what you think about this. I think this is a major issue that we will see again and again and again in the future. There's going to be more encounters, close encounters, possibly accidents because of drone. It's only a matter of time. And I think as a community, we need to be ready to to take action when this happens. And we need to be ready to put the blame where the blame belongs. If people are being idiots flying their drones, then we need to say it, and we need to go after this kind of behavior, and we need to come up with a safety culture in this industry where we're going to follow the rules, because the rules are there for a reason. When you become a manned pilot, this is in your head. This is something that I drill to all my students over and over again, whether at Parrot Institute or at the university. You got to follow the rules, and there is no going around the rules when you fly, because it's just such a dangerous job, and you're up in the air, and there's nothing you can do if you don't follow the rules. So I'll end it. I'll get up my soapbox and go from here. So let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully we get more information about this accident. It's something that just happened, something that's very fresh. Everybody is kind of speculating at this stage, but let's wait for the actual fact, and then we can go from here. All right, this is all I'm going to say for today. As always, you can use the coupon code right here to enroll in the Part 107 course, or actually any of the other courses that we offer. We offer a variety of drone courses from Part 107, Drone Flying 101 if you've never flown a drone before, or if you want to do it legally and understand the airspace, this is a great course. We have our Drone Maneuvers course as well that helps you with 50 different maneuvers, helps you become a much better drone pilot. And then the most recent course that we've added, which is building an FPV cinematic drone from scratch. So as always, use the coupon. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you guys next week.